Why have they done this to me? Why would someone do this to me? Why did they do that? How could they possibly? What's the reason? Why did they do this? And you can ask that question over and over and over and over and be surprised every single time that someone reveals themselves to you, but then reset and expect their behavior and their actions to be different subsequently. And the truth of the matter is that when you're constantly surprised by someone's behavior, it's not that their behavior is surprising, it's that you have a problem with reality. They are what they are. People will show you what they are constantly. They'll show you who they are every single day. It'll be in their words, it'll be in their actions, it'll be in their body language, it'll be in their thoughtlessness, it'll be in so many things. And it's up to you to pick up on that. And I think the trouble is for quite a lot of people, if you'd grown up in a home where maybe you were gaslit, and by being gaslit, I don't mean it like in a malicious way. I don't mean that it was, necessarily, an insidious environment and terrible things happened and someone tried to make you think that you were insane for acknowledging the truth, because that would be, the plot of a movie, of a horror movie, a psychological thriller. But gaslighting does happen in people's houses, whether the intention for it was malicious or not. For example, if you come home upset one day, you're like 5 years old, and you come home upset and you say to whoever it is, your mom, your dad, or whoever your grandparents, anyone, the nanny, whoever is in the house, an older sibling, and you say to them, I'm really upset because this bigger kid told me that I was, not very intelligent or whatever it is. And I felt really upset about that. And then, so this 5-year-old you wants to express how they feel. And so the older person, whether it's an adult or just a child that's also older, might say to you, you're fine, there's nothing wrong. That's gaslighting, okay? Because that's suggesting that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so you can grow up to be an adult that isn't that adept at identifying their own feelings because they weren't validated for you when you were younger, and therefore you don't grow into an adult who knows how to validate their own feelings. You grow up to be someone who requires the agreement of other people that how you feel is correct or accurate. And so when it comes to being surprised and shocked at other people's behavior, the issue here is not that their behavior is shocking or surprising, but it's that you don't believe it because you haven't had confirmation about it. Like they haven't said to you, oh shit, my behavior is terrible. They just behave in a terrible way and then try and brush it under the rug. So you don't sort of have this agreement or confirmation or validation that yes, their behavior is terrible, and it is because that's what they wanted to do and that's who they are. But rather than it just being that black and white, which it is black and white, it is straightforward. Like when someone behaves terribly, believe it. That's who they are and that's what they want to do. But for you, for me, for others of us, it's not that straightforward. So what we'll do is find a way to believe something other than what's happening before us. And so we'll rationalize it. We'll say, oh, maybe it was something that I did. Maybe it was something that I said. Maybe it was something that happened to that person earlier on in the day. And, so they're behaving in this way, but it's out of character for them. It's not really who they are. That's not their character. It isn't who they are. They didn't intend to do this. And so that's sort of how you allow bad behavior to continue. And that's one reason. Another reason is projection. Again, this is to do with accepting reality as it is. But if you're not accepting reality as it is, what you can do is project. So you will project your inner values and beliefs onto that person that you're in a relationship with. And let's say your inner values and your personal beliefs dictate that you don't betray people, you don't lie to them, you don't cause them emotional harm. And so when they behave in a way that is betraying, it betrays your trust or whatever it is, when they lie to you, when they hurt you emotionally, you project onto them who you are. Who you are as someone that doesn't do those things. And therefore, when they do these things to you, you don't believe that that's who they are on the inside. You believe that they're a different person and that these actions are out of character. But this is projecting. And this is where the benefit of the doubt stems from. It's sort of, giving someone the opportunity to fuck up because you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And that's supposed to be, a revered and noble thing to do. And yet, when you give people the benefit of the doubt, what they do with that trust that you've given to them is that they walk all over it. And so you shouldn't give people the benefit of the doubt. You shouldn't give people the opportunity to walk all over you. That's sort of like saying, oh, here, to an addict or whatever, here's my debit card. You might need it for essentials or, for going out and about or whatever. And so you give them the benefit of the doubt that they're only going to use it for that purpose. But they're a fucking addict. They're not only going to use it for that purpose. They're going to use it for other purposes, okay? And then you're going to find yourself in a shitstorm that's been created because you bestowed upon this untrustworthy person the benefit of the doubt. Not that I'm bashing addicts or anything. Obviously, people have an illness that they have to handle it. But I'm just giving you an example of how, you can misplace your trust based on this outdated notion that you ought to give people the benefit of the doubt, because you don't owe anybody fucking anything, and they too don't owe you anything. Nobody owes you the benefit of the doubt. Nobody owes you this sort of like blind trust that you're going to be relatively decent with them. And so these are two things that I wanted to address when it comes to acknowledging who someone really is. And another thing I wanted to add is that, it's okay to acknowledge this. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you come to the realization that this person that you held in high esteem, that you thought was really awesome and that they were, truly a good person. It's okay to change your mind and say, oh, I was wrong, and actually this person that I'm dealing with really isn't that great. Honestly, they are actually quite garbage in many respects. It's okay to say that. It's not like, that you're suggesting that you're someone who's better than everyone and you're better than this person and better than that person. And again, I mean, even that's an outdated concept to worry so much about whether you think that you're better than other people and if people will think that you think that you're better than them. Like, seriously, who the fuck cares what people think about what you think about what people think about shit? I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. And so what if someone turns around and says, oh, you're a stuck-up bitch? Well, yeah, I am a fucking stuck-up bitch if I'm not going to tolerate garbage from a garbage person. I'm okay with that. What are you okay with? Are you okay with tolerating garbage from a garbage person? If you are, stop it today. Stop it today. Take a second and notice who you are and notice what you're doing. Are you projecting onto someone? Are you constantly believing that they're actually better than what they really are because that's who you are on the inside? Because if that's the case, you need to stop. You need to cut ties with this person. You need to stop believing that they're going to do better next time, because they aren't. Next time they're going to fuck up again. And sometimes things escalate and they get even worse. They get to a point of no return. Like sometimes someone can really screw you over because you continue to misplace your trust in them. And that's on you. So you need to stop. You need to stop and think, why am I constantly surprised by this person's behavior? And if you are constantly surprised by someone's bad behavior, it could be that they're actually a bad person. And so to return to how this came to be, how you came to be this way, if you return to our childhood home, so if someone doesn't acknowledge how you feel about external things, they're also not going to acknowledge how you feel about things that happen inside the house. So let's say, someone yells at you that day. They're not necessarily going to turn around and say, oh, I shouldn't have yelled at you, although they should. That's not necessarily the case. And so you, again, learn that how you feel is not accurate. Maybe you shouldn't feel upset about it. And you learn to rationalize it. And you learn to say, oh, they were in a bad mood. Or you internalize it and you think that it's because of something you did, or it's just because of something that's inherently wrong with you, and therefore these adult people have no choice but to act like complete dicks. And so you take that with you into adulthood. And in adulthood, when you're with somebody who is constantly surprising you with their terrible behavior, again, another thing that you're doing is that you're rationalizing it. And the reason that you're rationalizing it is because you are trying to survive. You're just trying to survive, just like when you were a child, except when you were a child, this was unconscious behavior and it was essential. It actually was essential to your survival. Whereas as an adult, any relationship that you're in is not essential to your survival. And whether or not a garbage person stays in your life is your choice, but it certainly is not essential to your survival. And so if you find yourself constantly surprised by someone's behavior and constantly rationalizing someone's behavior, what you're really doing is you are surviving. You're just trying to survive because the situation that you're in is unbearable. I mean, if you were consciously aware of how terrible their behavior was, or that you were actually in relationship with a completely hideous person, you would not be very happy every day. You probably wouldn't be able to get out of bed. And so this is a coping mechanism that a lot of us employ. So what I ask you to do is to just observe what you're doing and notice, am I doing this? Like, am I doing this weekly? Am I doing this daily? Am I constantly rationalizing someone's behavior and not accepting who they truly are? If this is the case, then what you're doing is that you're trying to survive. You're trying to survive in an unsurvivable environment. And the purpose to your life is not simply to survive, but it is to thrive. And so it's okay for you to turn around and say that this person is a garbage person. You don't have to confront them on it. You don't actually have to say that to their face, but it's okay to acknowledge it within yourself that you're better than this. Know your worth. And your worth obviously is much better than the worth of a garbage person. It just is. That's a fact. It doesn't make you a bad person or someone who's stuck up or anything negative. Like, it's just a reality, it's a fact. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging it. And actually there is a lot wrong with not acknowledging it. There is a lot wrong with accepting something that's less than what your worth is. Know your worth, you are valuable. And guess what? You're enough. You're enough as you are. You don't have to do any more to be enough. You don't have to be any more to be enough. You don't have to get a promotion to be enough. You don't have to win the lottery to be enough. You don't have to change the way you look to be enough. In fact, the way you look right now, I'm guessing you're sitting at home in your sweats, is enough. It's more than enough. And any garbage person that tries to make you feel like you're as garbage as they are, or that you aren't worthy of what you're worth, which is love and adoration, then they can go and fuck off. They can get to fuck, because that's where they belong. Thank you. I hope you have a nice day. And if you aren't having a nice day, that's okay too. I will make more videos for you.